Hi, I'm Curious Vedanth, and welcome to season 2 of my podcast. Today, my guest is Diyansha Magesh, doing her IB in dance, psychology, and math as her majors. She raises funds for children's education for Give India, Cry, and is involved in conducting dance competitions through Rotary Club of Cantonment Secunderabad to help underprivileged children. Hi Diyansha, welcome to my show.
Hi, Vedant.
Yeah, this is really exciting. So Diyansha, I'm curious to know why you chose to help underprivileged children as a cause.
We all have grown up looking at our parents, and it is true that till we reach a certain age, it is them who influence us the most. I have seen that no matter how tough the situation is for my parents, they've always, helped anyone who is in need in any small way that's possible. Let it be providing education or shelter. They've always tried to help others. And they have been my first inspiration to help underprivileged children as well. So I try to join hands with a couple of small organizations, if possible, that help children like me who are willing to help the unprivileged children to at least, help them meet their basic necessities in life.
What you're doing is super great. How do you help the underprivileged children?
So as of now, there have only been three organizations that I have worked with. The first one is Uplift Connect. This is an organization that's specifically for teenagers who are into charity. They did this crowdfunding, the entire idea of crowdfunding. Uh, this came up with the help of Uplift Connect, which is an online platform for crowdfunding. Another one is Impact, which is also an organization for young adults. And this is directly linked with Cry India. And I'm sure no one really needs an introduction to Cry India. The third one is Rotary Club of Cantonment. I was in touch with this club since I was in grade 6 through my previous school, which is St. Michael's in Alwal. That was where I first learned about Rotary and the activities they do, and I was seriously taken aback by this. And this is what helped me to start looking into helping the underprivileged children and all. And I also encouraged my mother to join Rotary because of this.
I know about Rotary Club because my grandparents are part of it, and my grandfather was the first president of Rotary Club, Cantonment Secunderabad.
That's great to hear.
Can you tell me more about the dance competition you are conducting through Rotary Club of Cantonment Secunderabad?
Yes, sure. So, dance has been my passion for a long time. I have been into dancing since the age of 4. And in this lockdown, raising funds and dancing are the two things I did the most. One day, this thought suddenly struck me that when there was no lockdown, there were many dance competitions being held, and dancers were, they were being recognized at that time. And I, being someone whose recognition comes from that competitions, I did not want it to stop. I know there are many dancers out there who are waiting to be recognized, but somewhere because of this lockdown it wasn't happening. So I came up with the concept of raising funds through dance, and Rotary Club of Cantonment, it has helped me immensely throughout. About 7 lakhs were raised through this competition. And for me, of course, it was a milestone.
If anyone else wants to conduct similar competitions, how do you do it?
It doesn't really require a lot of effort. See, for me, I wanted to do this on a huge platform. I have friends of mine who have conducted similar competitions, but that was on a smaller scale. What I did was I first spoke to my mother, telling, Mom, I have such an idea in mind. Do you think Rotary can help me in some way? Because we all know that Rotary is into charity and all that. So that is how I started. But if it's the first time someone is doing it, I would suggest them to simply get the idea, get everything in place first, have the basic knowledge of what you want to do. You were supposed to have a certain goal. Now my goal was raising funds through dance. It can be anything you want. It can simply be crowdfunding, or it can be through an art, let it be music, dance, art, poetry, and whatnot. Once this is set, you look for mediums of doing it. You can either publicize it by yourself, that is, posting on social media, or getting it printed in a newspaper or something, or take your parents' help, ask them to spread the word among their colleagues, and so on and so forth. Then you arrange for judges. This is one very important part, where you need to look for good judges. That is where the quality of whatever you're doing becomes better. That is when you'll be able to attract more people. When they see that the profile of a judge is good, is more than expected, that is when people will be more encouraged to participate in the competition.
That sounds very complicated. It's such a good thing that you're doing this.
Thank you so much.
You used to lead the Model UN. I've learned from one of my earlier guests that one proposes resolutions in the Model UN. What resolutions have you proposed?
Yes, I did lead the Model United Nations. In my fifth year, I first was just a delegate for 3 years, after which I got to lead one of the committees. And yes, delegates of each country need to propose resolutions based on the issue. And when you're the head, as in for this one, it was me, you have to guide your delegates who are under you, so that they propose effective resolutions. I surely do not remember the resolutions I proposed back in my ninth grade, but I can share a couple of resolutions my delegates proposed this year. So I was the head of DISEC. DISEC stands for Disarmament and International Security. It is also the first General Assembly of the United Nations. There were two topics that the committee discussed this year. The first one is the government's accountability and responsibility for confiscated goods. And the second one is foreign intervention in matters of international security. So, the delegate of USA had proposed resolutions for the first topic, and I'll just mention one of them. It's quite long, so yeah. Uh, Aware that the US custom delays detention for 2 or more months, even after 35 days of allowed time due to improper communication. The delay is a major issue worldwide. So, whatever I just read, it was a preambulatory clause, where you merely just have to state what the problem is. It's a fact. And the main purpose of the resolution is to give solutions for the problems. So, after you write the preambulatory clause, you're supposed to write the operative clause, where you give solutions to the preambulatory clauses. So, this is the solution she proposed. Requests the management of customs to create a free application for the owners of the seized properties for clear communication. So, what happens when you write a resolution paper is there are many things that need to be considered. Now, what I just read out to you, it was one operative clause and one preambulatory clause that she's written. She's also written sub operative clauses, sub operative clauses. It's going to be very confusing. So basically, when you propose a resolution, what I did was I just guided my delegates so that they propose effective resolutions. Now in this case, I just read out one to you. I get it was very complicated for you to understand, but in simple words, if I were to explain this to you, it's just one issue that the country of US was facing, with regard to the confiscation of goods. And she just suggested one solution to it. After she suggests, in the committee you have debate, you have countries going for or against the resolution. They have to give their stance on why are they going for or against, etc. That's a quite long process. So this is a gist of how a part of the MUN works.
I really like how the United Nations works and like how you give solutions to problems, how you basically match them together. I really like how it is.
I'm sure you'll grow up to be a very good delegate in the future.
I have been to New York, and there I've seen the actual UN building, like the real headquarters.
Wow, that sounds great.
Yeah, it really was. What can my listeners do to help underprivileged children?
The first thing I would like to convey to the audience is to understand why should someone be helped. There is no point of helping someone merely for the sake of it. It is important to understand the importance of helping someone. Secondly, approach the right people, approach the right organizations. Helping the underprivileged is a sensitive effort that people make. There are some people who do take advantage, simply play with your emotions, try to get money from you. The most important thing to keep in mind is that helping is not just financial. Money cannot buy happiness. So I would strongly suggest the audience to get the thought of helping financially out of their minds. Donating clothes, helping them with shelter, food is also helping. In fact, even if you decide to take one day off your busy schedule and sit and spend some quality time in an orphanage or a old age home is also helping.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Um, I have always wanted to be a dancer. I did hear from n number of people that it is a very challenging career, but I have been wanting to do this for the past 5 years, and I think I still want to be a dancer.
For most people, dance is like a hobby, but some people do it because they want to become a dancer, and 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 I think that's what you're gonna do.
Yes, that's absolutely what I'm going to do.
What are your hobbies?
I paint, and recently I started to learn how to cook, and of course, I listen to a lot of music.
I do all three things you do.
Nice, we do have something in common now.
Thank you so much for coming on my show.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, I know it was super fun.
For me too. I got to learn a lot from you, Vedant.
Same. Dear listeners, follow my Facebook page, Curious Vedanth, to get updates on my upcoming episodes. To listen at leisure on your phone and get notified about future episodes, subscribe by searching for Curious Vedanth wherever you get your podcasts, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can also listen to my show on curiousvedant.com. Thank you for listening to Curious Vedant, and don't forget to rate and comment.